What's up, future millionaires? I'm Mike the Investor, and today we're going to be diving into the drip faucet as well as the drip garden. And by the thumbnail, yes, you can see I now have well over 600K plants. I've now hit that milestone, and in about 20 days or less, just by compounding once per day, I have well over 1,000,000 plants. Now, before we jump into it, if you happen to miss the live stream between myself and Scott the Investor, definitely check that one out. It was a good time. I enjoyed chopping it up with Scott and vibing with them in the community. We talked about some different strategies, some what ifs. We even answered some tough questions as well that the drip ecosystem typically gets. So I would highly recommend checking that out. I will have it linked in the description below. But let's go ahead and dive into the drip faucet first, the king of them all. Now, as we can see here, the price of drip is $8.60. Now, it can be lower or it can be higher at the time when you see this video. As we head over to the faucet, you can see I have about 1,936 drip. So in about 3 to 4 days, I will have that 2,000 drip milestone faucet. So I'm excited about that. You can see total value is about 16,600 bucks. So that's about $166, give or take, a day. Now, if we head on over to the animal farm, move down a little bit, you can see I have 625,821 plants grown. I'm going to show you a closer up view here in a second. You can see I have about 2.11 LPs, which is about $21.50, which I can either plant, which means compound, or I can sell, which means withdraw. And you can see I have about 5,400 plants that I can, compound into the system, which is the value of these LPs. And I'm going to briefly show you here towards the end of this video what you can actually do with these LPs from the drip garden. Now, as you can see here, a closer overview, 625,821 plants. Looking at my pool ownership, 0.0539%. As you can see, for the total asset value, 2,467. And if you know about the last video, you're like, Mike, how did you get your value up this high? Well, I made another deposit, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. Now, as you can see here for the daily, a little over 82 bucks, weekly, monthly, and yearly. Now, remember, if you're withdrawing every day, it's going to take down that 3% that you're making, okay? So if you're compounding, though, every single day, I can essentially make this if the contract balance is still around that range that makes this amount, or it can be even more if the contract balance is increasing, right? So if you want to keep that 3% or 3.33% a day, you have to keep compounding. But at some point, you do have to withdraw, which is going to take a little bit of that percentage. And so this is why from the garden itself, it is not set up for you to withdraw every day. It's going to take down that percentage. The faucet, you can withdraw every single day, and you're going to get that guaranteed 1%. Now, for the garden, we can see this $82 is approximately making me about 8.11 LPs per day. And some of the main mechanics you want to keep an eye on is the LPs. You want to keep an eye on the contract balance, the LP price, the drip price, as well as your pool ownership, right? These are the main mechanics you want to dive into, because there's nothing we can do about the decay. The decay is going to be there, and it's designed that way to allow newer players to have the same buying power that we had when we got in. So once again, pool ownership, contract balance, the contract balance as in USD, which these two are the same. It's just giving you what 451,000 LPs is worth in USD value, which is 4.5 million. So pool ownership, the contract balance, the drip BUSD LP, is this staying steady or going up? The drip price, is it staying steady and going up? And then, of course, let's go back over to drip.formulate. How many LPs are you producing per day? So those are the main mechanics of the garden that you want to keep an eye on. Now, if you look over to my Google spreadsheet here, you can see August 25th, I invested another $500 into the garden, which got me 125,410 plants. Now you can see total invested in the garden 2,500, and this is how many plants that has purchased me, 464,763. So if we head over to the Dune website here, you can see we're getting close to that 30,000 players in the garden. You can see 625,000. Let's head over. 625,821. So just showing you everything is matching up. And this is also like 3 hours behind, give or take, as well. Now, let me move down a little bit. Here we go. So here's the first 2 deposits I did, which if I could show you here, May 5th, May 13th. Let's go back over to Dune. Then you can see all of these are 500 deposits. 105,000 plants. This was 115,000, 114,000. and 125,000 plants on August 25th. And if you look here on the spreadsheet, I got it all matched up here for you, right? So heading back over to Dune, if we look down on the scoreboard here, I'm actually going to be off of the scoreboard here in the next couple of days. I'm right here. 550,000 650,000. I have 625,000. So after tomorrow's compound, I'm going to be at 645,000. And after the following day's compound, I'm going to be actually off the board. So hopefully they update this so we can see what's going on. But another way you can look at it is here. This shows you the top wallets. The biggest garden wallet is 25 million plants. You can move down. And I believe there's like 21 pages of wallets that have well over 1 million plants or more. 22 pages. So, well, yeah, 22 pages. And I believe it's what, 20 things on here, give or take. So real quick, let's go ahead and dive into what can you do with these LPs from the garden, right? Because remember, this is an LP of 50-50. So for example, let's say you have $1,000 worth of the Drip BUSD LP. 500 of that is BUSD stablecoin, and 500 of that is Drip, right? So now, for example, let's say you don't want to utilize that back into the ecosystem. First thing you can do, you can either break the LP apart. Now you have 500 in Drip, 500 in BUSD. You can either sell that Drip and get the rest of the full value of that, or you can take that Drip, put it into one of your current wallets, start a new wallet, or you can just sit on it and wait for the price to go up for price appreciation. The other BUSD, you already have that in stablecoin, so there's nothing you have to do with that, right? Now, let's say you want to start to utilize this back into the ecosystem. Now, what we can do, where you can start. Now, the only thing this doesn't have on it right now is the reservoir. And the reservoir is actually Drip BNB LP pair, which pays out BNB. So real quick, we're going to come right back to this. But if we head over to the reservoir, and the beautiful thing about the reservoir is when you put something in here, it is not locked. You can actually take that out at any time. So you're actually pairing Drip and BNB, and that's actually going to make the LP token called Drop. And so what that does is the reservoir pays you anywhere, I believe, from like 40 to 100% APY, give or take. And so this is more of a long-term play, but definitely a solid play for sure. I'm going to get more into this, but I did just put a little in here. As you can see, not much. I believe Drops is right around 3,000 bucks for the LP. So that's 1,500 in Drip, 1,500 in BNB to make a full drop. So if we head back over to this picture here, here's the faucet, which is the king and the foundation of everything. And this is also, in my opinion, the safest out of the entire ecosystem. Then you have the pig pen, which is going to give you that 2% daily. You have the pools, the farms, the piggy bank, and you have the drip garden. Now here's the drip garden. It's giving you LPs. Those LPs, you can take those and put them into the farms here. So here we are. We got the farms. Right here, you don't even have to do no breaking apart. You can immediately take what you have out of the garden. Like if I wanted to take this $23 right now in LP, I could literally take this, and if the farms was open, which it will be in October, I can now stake it in here, which is now going to give me pigs. Well, why do I want pigs? Well, it depends on your strategy. If I want pigs, then I have 2 plays where I can put the pigs, right? I either have the piggy bank, which basically this is the Drip Garden on steroids. You're pairing pigs in BUSD and you're going to earn piglets, right? And so this has a decay as well. But the beautiful thing about the pig pen, it has a time lock mechanism. You don't have to lock it, but as you lock, you can see your percentage increases. So it has that hex feature. So if you know anything about hex, then you will love the piggy bank. Now, if you look at the pig pen, this is how you start to get ownership in the actual entire animal farm. So whenever transactions are done, pig pen, piggy bank, swap, adding liquidity, the farms, the pools, the drip garden, anytime anything is done, some of that is going into this animal farm pig pen here, which is going to get paid out to the people who have ownership. So basically, you can take those pigs, stake it in here. You can withdraw 2% per day of your pigs or recompound it, and you're also going to get paid out in BUSD, which that means now you don't actually have to sell the underlining asset, right? And so there's so many different things you can do in this ecosystem. So the pools and the farms is not open yet, but everything else is open. The drip garden, the piggy bank, the pig pen, and the faucet. And remember, we have the reservoir as well, which allows you to earn yield, and you're actually pairing drip and BNB, and it's actually paying you back in BNB. So again, you don't actually have to sell the underlying asset. You can just take out those BNB rewards and put that back into the ecosystem, or take your profit depending on what your strategy may be. So again, none of this is financial advice. I'm just sharing with you my journey and sharing with you what I'm personally doing. Now, one thing I want to mention that I'm going to be doing with the drip garden. We head down to the drip garden here. So what I'm going to be doing with my BUSD drip pair, as I get to 1 million plants, and let me show you something here. Let's just do some numbers. So check this out. We know I have 625,000 plants. I'm planting over 20,000 plants per day, almost 21,000. After tomorrow, it will be over 21,000 plants per day. But for this example, let's just do 20,000 plants. So we're going to do 20,000. And I know you all know this already, times 20 days. That's going to give me 400,000 plants, which we know is going to be actually a lot more than that. But as we can see, 400,000 plants plus 625,000, that's well over 1 million plants. Now, from that point, I will be in a decent position. Then what I want to do is start doing a 6-to-1 strategy with the Drip BUSD LP. Now, a 6-to-1 strategy simply means you're going to compound 6 days a week, and then you're going to hydrate or withdraw once a week. And I'm going to do that to start taking out my ROI from the garden, get my initial investment back, and then from that point, I want to continue to keep doing that same strategy unless something changes to take out my initial investment from the actual faucet itself. So that way I don't have to worry about doing no claiming on the faucet. I can just get to that max payout as quickly as possible. Now, that's my short-term strategy. Again, none of this is financial advice, but just being transparent with you and letting you know what I plan on doing as well, because at the end of the day, you want to get your initial investment back, because then it is just golden, right? Even though this is risk capital, you still want to get your initial investment back, because then it's just free money that we're pretty much playing with, all profit at that point. And so if you gain some value from this video, smash the like button. I appreciate all the love the drip community has been showing me. And remember, if you missed the live stream between me and Scott the Investor, definitely check that out. I will have it linked down in the description, and also some of the other tools that I use for the drip ecosystem. I will have that in the description for you as well. But I will see you all future millionaires on the next one.